In this video, we'll go through the Horse Biomechanics results, both how to find them and how to understand them. Once a Horse Biomechanics assessment has finished processing in the cloud and you've received the notification to say that it's complete, the results will be available via the Horse Results page from the Biomechanics menu. If you're first using the app as a new user, you'll see this message pop up as you don't have any results to show yet. If you've used the app before, but an older version, or if you've got a new phone, this no results message may still pop up. In this case, choose the Check for New Results option. On the results page, you'll see two selectors. One to filter for the horse, and one for the assessment. By default, the horse filter is set to All, which will show results from all your registered horses. The list below it will show all of the biomechanics assessments on your account. If a result doesn't show, press the blue Check for New Results button. The result will be displayed as three parts: the reference you gave the assessment, the pace, and the horse's name. If you haven't specified the pace or the horse, they will appear as none. You can add or change these details using the turquoise Change Details button. Once you've found the result you'd like to see in the list, you can choose from the following options. View that result. View the tracked video that goes along with it. You can share the results either directly or via email. We will cover this in a separate video. You could compare your select results directly with another one from your list. Or you can track your progress. Let's start with the individual result first. If the assessment has been successful, you'll see a series of 5 images and a whole bunch of numbers and text. As you'd expect, the horse's assessment works differently to the rider's biomechanics assessment. Like the rider, the app identifies key points on the horse and works out the angles between those key points. However, instead of showing the average angle across the whole video, the Horse Biomechanics results show the average extension and flexion angles along with the average angular range throughout the video. To explain this more, let's start from the first metric. This is the upper front leg, from the elbow to the knee. In this example, it's the right leg as the horse was filmed on the right rein. The app has tracked the angle between the elbow and the knee throughout the video. This is what that looks like as a graph. So what the app does is figure out when the horse reaches its greatest extension, i.e. when the horse is stretching as far forward as he can, during each stride. It then averages all of these extension angles across every stride to get the average extension. This is then represented by this number here and the purple line on the figure. That purple line represents the average extension of this horse during the video. Similarly, the app finds the maximum flexion angle, that is when he's stretching back as far as he does in his stride, and calculates that angle across every stride. That's shown by this angle here and the light blue line on the figure. The app also gives you the average angular range of the stride during the video. That's shown by this number here and by the angle between the blue and purple lines. The app does the same thing for the lower front leg, calculating the average maximum extension, the minimum flexion and the range between the knee and the fetlock. Similarly for the hind leg, looking at the angles from the stifle to the hock and the hock to the stifle. Right, so the most common question we get asked is, what's good? We can't answer that yet. It's something we're working on. Obviously a horse's movement will depend on lots of factors, such as his level of training, his discipline, his size and his breeding. It's probably the right time to reiterate our statement that we do not intend for this app to be used for veterinary purposes. If you're worried your horse is lame, please speak to your vet or other relevant professional. This app is designed for equitation purposes. We're hoping to be able to identify key markers in metrics and movement patterns that would give an indication of a horse's way of going. So for instance, is there a movement pattern that corresponds with a horse who's lacking engagement? Okay, So moving on now to the horse's head. The line connecting the base of the horse's ear to the corner of his mouth is color-coded for dressage performance. When the horse's head is on the vertical or slightly in front of it, the line is green. If he pokes his nose a bit or falls slightly behind the vertical, the line will turn yellow. If he is really poking his nose or way behind the vertical, that line will turn red. As with everything with horses, we acknowledge that there are a range of opinions, and indeed there is room for a range of opinions. We're taking our lead here from judges' experience as well as the FEI rulebook, which states that the head should remain in a steady position, as a rule slightly in front of the vertical. Sometimes the app may not be successful in reliably tracking a certain part of the horse. This is most common with the hocks of horses with particularly thick tails. If that's the case, you'll get a result that comes up as null with the message "sorry, not available." Back to the main result menu. You can view the tracked video. This is hosted in the cloud. If you just want to view it, click the View button, or if you want to download it to your device, click the Download button. Like the rider results video, you can compare horse results. Here, rather than seeing light blue and purple lines showing the flexion and extension, you'll just see dark or light blue lines. The light blue lines show the extension and flexion of the horse in video 1 and the dark blue lines show the horse in video 2. The numbers describing extension, flexion and range are shown at the side. If the lines overlap, then the movement of that part of the leg, or the head position, is very similar between the two videos. You can use this to compare the same horse in a specific pace on the left rein versus the right rein, for example. Again, we emphasize that these results should be used for equitation, rather than veterinary purposes. If you're comparing the results, for example, of your horse's upper hind leg in trot on the left and right reins and you do see a difference in the extension or flexion, please bear in mind the following. This is just a snapshot. You are comparing the horse in two different videos at two different times. If you're really concerned, first ask the advice of a professional, and then if you'd like to follow up with the app, take repeated videos on both reins. You'll need to do at least 6 videos on both reins. If you see the same difference when you compare all of those videos, then it's a real difference. In which case, as you should already be talking to a professional such as a vet or physio or farrier, then you should be in good hands. So let me be clear. Do not panic over any results. Remember that this app should be used for equitation and not veterinary diagnostics. Going back to the comparison tool, you can also use it to track your horse's movement or head carriage in different tack, or with a different rider. You can also use it to compare his movement over time. As we said earlier, with more research, we'll be able to give a more meaningful analysis of the results. For now, the metrics are there for any time you want to see them or just for general interest. So that's an overall introduction to the Horse Biomechanics results provided by the app. There's more resources on our website and our social media. As we conduct more research, we'll be able to bulk out our interpretation and analysis of results. We're also busy working to bring you live capture horse biomechanics like we have for the rider. We're not too far off, so stay tuned. As ever, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on social media or via email.